We're here with Larry Brunton, former U.S. Army Green Beret. We're talking about servant leadership. Can you give us some examples as it applies to your military background and how you learned servant leadership in the military?
Yeah, now I can only speak to my personal involvement in the military, and that was, as you said, I was in Special Forces, and I spent about 9 years on Special Forces A teams, and that's considered unconventional warfare. And the way it's developed, let me give you a little background first. Special Forces A teams have 12 guys on it, and oftentimes these teams are sent out to do some crazy and sometimes Herculean things. And so you really have to count on each other to accomplish the mission. No one person can do it by themselves. And I think, how does that apply to servant leadership? Well, servant leadership has a lot to do with developing of the team members. I think the Army has done a really good job at making sure that those folks that are on Special Forces A teams, and most people throughout the military, are constantly being developed. They're constantly being trained to be better, to do better, to perform at a higher level, higher peaks of efficiency, or higher levels of efficiency. And I think if CEOs and entrepreneurs could get that in mind, that if they could do that with their teams, I think they'd be much better off. Another way that servant leadership kind of works in Special Forces anyway, is that we all knew each other's families. We took care of each other. We cared for each other. It wasn't just the top ranking guy on the team was barking orders at anybody else. That's not the way it worked. We understood that if we were going to accomplish a mission, we had to do it together. We all had to play our role. And if we cared for each other, the whole being, their family, their personal life, their spiritual life in some cases, that they were going to perform better when it came time to do their task. Certainly that's really important, I think, in the business community as well. Now, servant leadership, I think, is confused by a lot of people, and they think that servant leadership is about being weak. And I think it's completely different. I think the military has proven that, particularly Special Operations has proven that. These guys are tough, they're hardcore guys, but they're willing to subordinate their own goals, their own personal mission for the greater good. And so those are just a couple of points that I learned while in Special Forces about servant leadership.